When do you know if it's time to repot your Cattleya or Cattleya type? This is a Brassavola yellow bird, and as you can see, her bloom is still nice and strong. It's not going over, but there is a reason why I am going to repot her now. Stick around and find out. Today's video is sponsored by the Orchid Supply Store, where you can go to the website right there, use your coupon code TRISH for 12% off at checkout. And today I will be using the perlite, the Western Fir Bark, Rexus Medium, small Orchiata Bark. As you can see, I'm running low. They also have these hexagon mesh baskets. They have the plastic baskets that just have the holes on the bottom, and they go from I believe this is a 2.5 inch pot. This one here is a 6-inch pot up to, I believe, an 8-inch. I do have some more of those. They also have the slotted orchid pots and a variety of other things. Whatever you need for your orchids or houseplants, they've got you covered. They also have orchids, so be sure to check that out. And with spring already here in some places, not in Colorado, apparently it snowed. However, in many places, spring has sprung and repotting has begun. So go to the orchidsuppplystore.com, use coupon code TRISH at checkout, 12% off. And now let's see why we are going to repot my Brassavola yellow. I just want to give you guys a very up close and personal look at this bloom. Look at that. Is that not just beautiful? And the nice thing about this is it is a color changer. When it first opens its blooms, it has a lot of red, kind of pinkish red to it. And you're thinking, oh, I don't have a yellow bird, and then it changes to this. And look at that spotching on the lip. Is that not just beautiful? She does have a scent in the evening. It's not a very strong scent. Now, why am I repotting her and she's in bloom? Because as we all know, it is said all over the place, don't repot your orchid if it's in bloom. I don't adhere to that. What I adhere to, especially with Brassavola or Cattleya type, I repot when I see this. Let's see if we can get a good view. We have new root growth coming. Now, I've had this one since December of 2021. I purchased it at my local garden center, Nick's Garden Center, and I missed my window of opportunity last year, so I've been waiting for the roots, and these roots are starting to absorb water, and that's another thing I was waiting for, because I have found in my environment, yours could be different, but Brassavolas do not start absorbing water as soon as the roots start. You kind of have to wait. So especially this one back here. Well, can you see it? Once I unpot it, I'll show you. But she has a nice long one with a nice healthy root tip that is just starting to go into this media. So now is the time. But I like to wait for when my Cattleya or my Brassavola type start absorbing water from the new roots, just in case the old roots don't want to hang around. Now, as with all of our repots, I am pushing the side of the pot to release any roots that might be on the side, because I do have some older roots sticking out of the bottom. So let's just dump her out and see if we can slide her out. Now, I didn't water her first, and I probably should have, because she is not wanting to come out. So let's just squeeze her some more. I'm being very, very mindful of where those new roots are when I put my hand in here, because I don't want to break any. And another reason I'm repotting, guys, is she's at the edge. This is the one that has the bloom on it. So her next growth is going to be coming out of the pot. And since I grow inside my home and she is not on a mount, I want to try to control that just a wee bit. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling on the pot and just kind of helping ease her out, possibly. Maybe. Let's see. See if we can get some of the media out, and then maybe she'll come out with it. Who knows? I haven't run into this problem in a while. Now, I'm not cutting the bloom. If I end up damaging the bloom and it ends up breaking, then yes, I will cut it off. Or if she starts just kind of wilting away because of this repot, then of course I will cut her off. But now I know she will rebloom for me. I have her in the right conditions. She sits underneath this Barina grow light right next to us where we saw her at the beginning. And I see these roots are actually go further than I thought. But, all right, so she is coming out of, excuse me, my allergies, guys, are really, really bugging me. Let me turn you off for a second. Let me go get an allergy pill and see if that doesn't help. I'll be back in a few. Okay, so took a pill. It's been about 15, 20 minutes. It should take effect here shortly, but let me get a little bit of coffee here. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, but she is coming out of, looks like large bark and large perlite. And the bark is still pretty firm. So this media is not going over. So I am not going to be very insistent on these roots coming off. Back when I first started repotting and caring for orchids and collecting them, I was repotting them as soon as I got them. Well, I have learned that here in my living room, that is not a very conducive thing. So I'm going to just cut all of the old roots, and most of them are in the middle where the old growth is. And these have already been sterilized. I'm trying to decide if any of these older, maybe this one. Yeah, I'm gonna take this growth right here off. And that should, maybe, yeah, I thought maybe the roots would come with it, but I think I've already pulled off as I was waiting for the video to start. But other than that, she only has a couple of other roots down here that are ready to go. And again, because she may dump these roots, I don't want to cut off anything that looks viable or feels viable. And once I'm done, I will give her a nice soak in CalMag at that point. And of course, because I'm putting her in new media, she will dry out. They do prefer a nice wet dry cycle, nice bright light in order to bloom. And I was trying to see if there were any other blooms coming, because she's got quite a few new growths on this side. So she's got two directions of growth. She's growing from the left as well as the right. And I'm happy to see that this is one plant. A lot of times what will happen is they will put two plants together to make it look like a fuller plant. This is actually off of one full rhizome, so that is good. Let me see, do I want to take this one off? Nope. All right, I am, however, going to clean all the sheaths because these are she grows really tightly, so it's very easy to break the growth when she's in the pot. So being outside of the pot, it's a lot easier to get in there because you can lay her down, you can move her around, do what you need to do. So, and then there's no bloom coming out of here, so I will go ahead and take the sheath off of this one as well. Some people pull their sheaths from the bottom, some people pull them from the top. I start at the top, and then once I get to the bottom, I just kind of squeeze and am gentle and careful. And as you can see, she did have a sheath in there. It's just a dry sheath. Nothing's going to come from that. This is not one of those orchids where they develop the sheath can dry, and then it could possibly bloom later. The yellow star does not do that as far as what I've seen. Now, again, I could be wrong, could just be my environment, but that's been my experience. Now, I am also taking off the sheath on the growth that has the flower spike. I used to take the sheaths off immediately because I'm a little OCD on some things, and I learned that the sheaths are actually there for a reason, as is everything on a plant, whether it be an orchid or any other type of plant. There's a reason there's certain things on there. And one of the things it does is it helps protect the sheath as it is developing. So now I wait until the bloom, and then I will clean her off as best as I can. And sometimes I will get my tweezers to get into the little itty bitty parts there. Let's see, let's get that sheath. Give me just a few minutes. I'm almost done. So, how is everyone feeling about spring being sprung? I am excited. I'm just ready for spring to win her battle with winter. They do it every year, and usually it's until about mid-May, possibly the end of May, before winter finally gives up and gives spring her way. So I can look forward to possible random snow between now and then. It doesn't get real cold, so like the snow from last night, it's pretty much melted already this morning. There's a couple of spots in the shade, but overall, temperature-wise, it's not that cold. The wind makes it cooler than what it should be. I think the temperature is around 53 today, so, which to me is cold, but it's not cold to people who grew here. All right, so that is all I'm going to do to her. I am going to cut off this root here. And now, she does not appear to have a branching root system. So normally if it's a branching root system, I would like to cut and encourage some root growth, but she doesn't have one of those. But this is the root that I was telling you guys about that we couldn't see. Do you see that beautiful root tip on there as well as the one down here? So I want these to get used to the new media that we are going to be putting her in. I'm trying to see if there's any new growths coming also, but I see some swells. Like there's a little swell right here. And on this side, on the one that has the flower spike, she's got a little swell down there too. And now we get to pick a lay pot. So let me lay her down, and I'm going to move all this to the side. Excuse me. And let's move all that to the side. All right, now we have 3 options. We have small, medium, large. Now, the only problem with putting her into this one, it's not much bigger than the one she just came out of, especially since she has those 2 directions of growth. I will have to repot her again, possibly next year, if she really takes off this year. Now, she grows really slow and only does 1 more on either side, then I have 2 years. I don't want to disturb her. Also, I want to encourage her to spread. So then we have this one, which is our 6-inch pot that gives her plenty of room. And I know she's a little tall, but what I can do is instead of using this whole pot, I can just kind of use, just kind of, you know, pot her a little bit lower in the pot to give her the space circumference-wise, but not make it too deep. This one is not really that much taller than what she came out of. So I could, if I wanted to, pot her up to the rim. And then we have this one. So this one here is a 5-inch, but then we have our 6-inch, and that is just way too big. I mean, that's just way too much media. She does not have that vigorous of a root system in there right now, so that would be way too big. So we are going to eliminate that. And I've already mixed up the fir bark, the small Orchiata bark, and the perlite. And what I'm going to do to make it easy on myself, hold on, let me spritz her down real quick because she did not come out of my media. This is my first time repotting her, and I really want to, there we go. And although I have not seen any bugs on her or anything like that, I'll do it out of habit because I didn't see anything on her, but I also did cut some of the roots back, and just in case I cut into good tissue, move that out the way. So we will let her kind of sizzle there, and then I'm going to, like I said, make my life easier. And instead of trying to grab everything out of this bowl, I'm just going to pour this stuff out of the bowl. And mix it up real good. And put some at the bottom. And I like to shake out any of the smaller pieces from the bottom so that I'm not having all that worry. All right, now I know I'm going to need more, obviously, but let's see. Yep, let's put a little bit more in the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to put some of our mycorrhizal fungi. Now this does come in a bag. I like to put it in here so I'm not opening and closing the bag too much. And I'm just going to, and this is I believe a 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom. Now, in order for the mycorrhizal fungi to work and activate, they do have to be moistened. So I'll just put a little bit of water there to get that going. And let's put Miss Lady. I'm going to put her in the center because of those 2 directions of growth. And with her getting a new home, fresh media, she might start kicking out growth in other places as well. So I want to give her that opportunity to do whatever it is she wants to do in this new home of hers. All right, and then we just pat it around a little bit. And I am holding the orchid kind of down to keep it from popping up as I'm filling her in. So let me finish doing that. Let me know if you have the yellow bird and do you enjoy, like this one here, she is fragrant. It's not an overpowering fragrance. It's just the one bloom, of course. And I have to get kind of close to her to smell her. Not right up on her, but like kind of where I am now, kind of hand to nose distance. And she has a nice little, kind of a lemony florally scent. Kind of enjoy it. All right, and I feel like I need to do that, and there we go. And as you can see, she's just right in the middle, and this does look like a lot of media. The pot does look a little big for her, but believe me, she will grow into it. And because this is all fresh bark, there's no moss. The perlite will retain some moisture, not a lot. But the bark will pull a lot of the water. And so she will have that quick dry cycle. And then the roots that were just going in to media are going to adjust to our new little friends here in the pot. I'm pressing down, but not anywhere where I know there's roots. It's more on the outside just to kind of help get her in there nice and secure. And then we'll just pat it a little bit more just to make sure that everything gets settled in there. A couple of air pockets with brassavolas, cattleyas, phalaenopsis. They don't mind that. It's the oncidiums, your paths. What other one? There's another one. Wiltoniopsis. They don't like air pockets. Not big ones anyway. So, all right, let's put our Jenga puzzle together here. All right. So that should, keyword in my sentence is should, give me at least 2 years before I have to repot her again. And once again, I always forget to do this, but if you forget to put in, if you use slow release fertilizer and you forget to put it in, real easy, just take and sprinkle it over the top a little bit. And then what I do is I will just wiggle the top for it to go down. And then as you water, it'll find its way into the media. Ideally, you want to do it before your last layer, like the last 1/4 inch. But when you're like in the midst of doing what you're doing and you're really highly focused on it, you forget. Everybody does. No one is perfect. So now what will happen is I'll go just run some water through here a few times, kind of flush out all of the dust and debris that might be in there, update my tag to today's date, and then we will watch her progress over the spring. It might not be spring outside, but it is definitely spring inside. Excuse me again, because I have lots and lots of new growth showing. I will do a video in the next couple of weeks, kind of show you all of the growth that's happening right now. So excited. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't mind, just helps me out. It's free for you. And don't forget to go to the Orchid Supply Store to get your repotting supplies, your new orchids for the season. Look at the houseplants. His stacked horn ferns are just beautiful. I just recently did an order myself, so once I get that in, I'll show you what I got. Have a great day.